What's going on there, everyone? Well, this story is just borderline retarded, so let's get into it. Illegal immigrant anti-fascist gets deported after threatening to burn cops alive. One of the funniest things about this story is actually one of his last statements in this article. But we're going to break it all down because it's hilarious to me. An illegal immigrant activist and self-described anti-fascist was deported to Mexico after tweeting out violent threats. Sergio Salazar, a Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals recipient, DACA recipient, thanks Obama, and a member of the Occupy ICE movement, was apprehended by immigration and customs officials, enforcement agents last year, The Intercept reported. ICE has been monitoring Salazar for weeks and arrested him the day after his DACA protection expired in August 2018. Salazar was sent back to Mexico in September of last year, an ultimately fruitless attempt to stave off his deportation order in immigration court. A string of government agencies investigated Salazar after he made threats against law enforcement on social media. Big mistake, especially when you're an illegal alien. Stupid. Let's hope tomorrow is the day we start burning cop cars, preferably with cops inside, said in one tweet. And this is why you got deported. Good job. An ICE attorney said during a court hearing that same month that Salazar had incited violence. I would say saying, let's hope tomorrow is the day we start burning cop cars, preferably with cops inside. I would say that is a direct incitement of violence. The Intercept's profile is largely sympathetic, painting Salazar as an earnest register caught up in the Trump administration's hardline crackdown. Which we should have a hardline crackdown of illegals in our country. They screw up everything, just the balance is off when we have people taking from the system and not putting things in the system. A lot of people are like, oh, but they pay taxes all the time, this, that, and the other. No, they don't. I don't know where you're getting that information. Generally, when you're an illegal alien, you don't do anything the way a citizen would have to do anything because you're trying to hide. So you're not filling out tax paperwork and all of this stuff. You don't even have like a social security number or anything nonsensical stuff. According to Salazar, he was in the process of working with a lawyer to get his DACA protection renewed when he was arrested. Salazar told The Intercept that he feels he was targeted because of his political opposition to ICE and the Trump administration's policies. Yeah, it had nothing to do with you being a legal alien. Or being an illegal alien and inciting violence and putting out threats against ICE and law enforcement. Where is the self-accountability on the left? Can we talk about that? Like, how come there is absolutely zero self-accountability with leftists? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. As someone who is undocumented, he told the left-wing outlet, I wouldn't just see, but I would feel this constant threat against me, a threat of violence from the so-called United States to be deported. That's not violence. How is being deported violence against you? That doesn't make sense. Enacting the laws that we have on the books, how could that be construed as violence? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense. We are a country, a nation of laws. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand the mindset of these people. I felt the violence of not being able to cross the border to visit where I'm from, to visit for the holidays. Well, now you don't have to worry about that feeling of violence against you because you're back home where you belong. I mean, The whole time you were here during the DACA thing, why weren't you trying to get your legal citizenship? It doesn't seem that you spoke on that at all. You were just trying to get your DACA stuff renewed to stay longer. Why weren't you actively trying to seek your citizenship? Come on, don't blame everyone else for things that you did wrong. I mean, the whole situation was you and or your family doing the wrong thing. You could have, as a recipient of DACA, started working on doing the right thing, but you didn't. What you did instead was become a left-wing activist and get wrapped up in Antifa and all that nonsense, and look where it got you. Sent back to Mexico. Good job, and thank you to ICE for sending you back. You're exactly the type of immigrant we don't need here. Because you don't like America. Sorry. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Ugh. The 18-year-old activist's evidence packet labeled him as a member of Antifa or anarchist extremist, Salazar said, a claim he doesn't wholly deny. Good riddance. I'm not ashamed to say that my beliefs are anarchist and I'm anti-fascist, he told The Intercept. You're not anti-fascist, because what Antifa and all that done is a form of fascism, where they try to silence everyone that they disagree with and all this, and attack people they disagree with, like physically attack them. That's fascism. That is like almost exactly what fascism is. So don't say you're anti-fascist. Why won't y'all just admit y'all are fascist? And you're against the rule of law. That's it. You're anarcho-fascist. That's what you are. Salazar blames the FBI and ICE, which he calls two very bloated fascist U.S. institutions, for making him look like a bad person. You're threatening violence against law enforcement agents that are just doing their job, following the rules set forth by the U.S. government. You are a bad person. You're a very bad person. And you got what you deserved. But some might argue Salazar's troubles are his own making. Yes, some would. From March to June of last year, Salazar made a series of incendiary tweets that attracted authorities' attention. The Intercept cataloged a sample of these messages. Let's set some crap on fire and throw Molotovs at the pigs. I'm so done with today. Pick up the guns, put the pigs on the run, a reference to an old Black Panther chant. Let's hope tomorrow is the day we start burning cop cars, preferably with cops inside, he said. Dead cops are a good thing. This is all his words. This morning's mood is wanting to kill a homophobe. And I've stated many times, this word homophobe in itself is retarded because most people that are considered homophobe, first off, aren't even against gay people. They might feel uncomfortable around them, but most of the time these labels get put on people by ignorant people who just want to label someone as something incendiary. But I don't know, like I've said many times, I don't know anybody who actually fears homosexuals. So to call them homophobes and homophobic is actually a wrong statement, because they don't fear them. And I'm not a member of MS-13, he proclaimed. I'm part of something much more dangerous. We've got Molotovs, and we know who the real enemy is. Sorry, Antifa is not much more dangerous than MS-13. MS-13 is a murderous gang. And Antifa is just a group of young, dumb, stupid people running around causing anarchy. Fascist. Salazar told The Intercept he was surprised when his attorneys brought up the tweet before his hearing in an immigration court. No, because that's what attorneys do. They find out the good and the bad on you, for they know how to fight for or against the situation. Come on. I knew I'd said some dumb F's before, but I didn't remember it. It was just stuff I tweeted and forgot about it, he said. See, that's also a problem with not just young people on the internet, everybody. don't just write things when you're fueled with your like emotions and stuff. Don't do that, because you're always gonna, and this goes for everybody, right, left, doesn't matter if you're political or not. Watch what you say on the internet, because all that can and will be used against you at any time. The less you post, the better. Trust me. During the hearing, immigration attorneys presented evidence showing one of the people who had visited Salazar in detention claiming to have put a big effing hole in a guard's truck. Wonderful citizens. However, Salazar denies committing any offense. According to him, it is the United States that is guilty of violence for deporting him. How is that violence? First off, like, no, there was no violence because the law was used against you. That's not violence. I didn't choose to be in detention. I didn't choose to be undocumented. I didn't commit any offense. Well, yeah, you did. You literally threatened thousands upon thousands of law enforcement agents with violence. That's a criminal offense. You can't threaten people. You can't make threats against people's lives. And you did. Blanket statement, ICE and law enforcement. Like, that's a crime. And if you didn't choose to be undocumented, like I said before, why weren't you actively trying to get your citizenship instead of actively protesting against the country in which you claim to want to be in? Doesn't make sense. You're an idiot. And I was forcefully torn away. I was put in handcuffs, dragged into a truck, locked up. That is violence, he told The Intercept. No, it's not. It's called law enforcement. Law enforcement is not violence. Yes, there are some bad eggs in our law enforcement community, and we're slowly weeding them out every chance we get. Rightfully so. We should. I mean, the police themselves and ICE and all these agencies do need to be very proactive in weeding out the bad eggs. Just because it makes them look bad when there's a bad egg that gets plucked from the bunch, and everyone sees that. You know, because the media is going to immediately skew it to a negative narrative. We know, because the media overwhelmingly supports the left wing. But this guy had no violence committed against him. He should be lucky that we are such a good country, and we do, you know, try to police the police to an extent. So he should be happy that everything went this. Trust me, this happens to people. I was put in handcuffs, dragged into a truck, locked up. This happens to Americans all the time when they commit crimes, you know. No one seems to bat an eye at that. But so why would we, to you, an Antifa illegal immigrant who has threatened law enforcement in this country, this, that, and the other, who has probably actively gone out and protested this, that, and the other. What are you talking about? All I could say is, thank you, ICE. You did a good job by deporting this fellow, because he obviously wasn't going to be a productive, good citizen. This is how immigration enforcement should work, you know. These are the type of people they should be targeting. Not just the criminals, but people who possibly could become criminal. I think, you know. Especially, like I said, he's been here through DACA, and he wasn't even trying to get citizenship. Come on, man. You reap what you sow. But I'd love to hear your comments, and as always, like, share, and subscribe. I will catch y'all on the flip side.